Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us this morning for the last of our New Zealand showcase activity in this series. We've really enjoyed doing these showcases and bringing them to you, and by the look of the viewer numbers, you have enjoyed them as well, which is fantastic. For those of you joining for the first time, let's unpack a little bit of what's going on here. These are showcase videos where we unpack what add-ons are and how they work in your business. Add-ons are solutions built by external developers who are passionate about business and passionate about solving the pain points and the frustrations that business owners have in their day-to-day lives. These videos allow us to spend a little bit of time with the developers and unpack what is it they do and how does it help you in your business. The way they work is we have a conversation. I'm simply asking them some questions, effectively over a cup of coffee, and exploring how they work in your business today. Today we're focusing on a couple of add-ons that really work in any business. We're looking at how you understand your budgets and forecasts for tomorrow, and we're looking at those pesky paper things you get when you buy a cup of coffee, an airplane ticket, and such like, receipts. And how do you handle those sort of things? These videos are archived. This live system is archived straight away, so immediately after this you'll be able to watch it again, you'll be able to share it with your friends, you'll be able to share it with other business owners. So by all means, send them out and about. Below the page links to both the add-on providers, and today we're talking to Calxa and to Shoeboxed. So the links through to their websites are immediately below the video, so once we're finished you can go straight down there and click those to get to their websites. Right, I think that's enough talking from me this morning. Let's get on to this. So we're going to go and grab Mick Devine from Calxa. Let me just go down here onto my computer and bring him into the main stream. So let me do that. Mick, don't forget to unmute yourself, mate. How are you this morning?
I'm good, thanks, Kieran. Good morning, everybody.
Great. There we go. That's Mick. You don't need me on the screen anymore. Hey Mick, I mentioned that Calxa is a budgeting and a forecast type solution. Do you want to explain in your terms what is Calxa and what does it mean to the audience today?
What we do is try and make that budgeting and cash flow forecasting process easy. We link directly to your MYOB file, and then we've got wizards and shortcuts to help you create your first budget and cash flow forecast. So you can see exactly what's in the bank month after month.
Nice. Well, that's certainly handy. Listen, we use terms like forecasting and budgets and cash flow and things like this. Are they terms that every business uses, or is there a typical type of business? Do they get to a certain size or a certain point before they really need a tool like this?
There's probably three main groups of businesses that use our software. One is those that need to keep their bank happy for finance reasons. There's those who've got erratic or unpredictable cash flow. And then the people I like to call the smart business owners, the ones who like to plan for the future, who want to know where they're going.
Fantastic. Listen, so those planning for the future and trying to understand that, is that what we call a pain point? Is that the piece of frustration the business is looking at, trying to really think about tomorrow and where they're going? Is that the sweet spot for Calxa, or is there another area that you really hone in on as well?
Yeah, it's that planning process. It's looking at different scenarios so you can see what's the effect on my cash flow if I open a new branch or if I take on a new staff member. So you can actually model that and see how it's going to work and what the implications are for your business and make informed decisions.
Right. Now, I know also while we're talking about your customer base, you do a lot in the not-for-profit space. Do you want to unpack that a little minute before we get into the rest of the conversation?
Yep, not-for-profits typically have fairly complex reporting needs. They're often using jobs and categories in MYOB, and we provide a means of doing monthly budgets on that and all the complex reporting that goes around that. And for the smaller not-for-profits, we've got a donation program through TechSoup New Zealand, so you can actually get a free copy of the software.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. Alrighty. Okay, so the best thing I think now is to actually put it up on screen and talk through some of the products. So do you want to switch over to that and give that a crack?
Yep, let's see what we can do. Okay, what we've got here is a typical cash flow forecast. So the blue line there is showing our predicted bank balance month by month over the next 12 months. And
Great.
the bars are showing the different components, so we can see how much income contributes to that, how much expenses, etc. So we can understand what the changes are. We can have different budget versions, so we can look at different scenarios and see what the different effects are. There's a whole range of reports in Calxa to give you different sorts of information. Things like our Where Did Our Money Go report help to explain to you the connection between cash and your bank balance. So we made a profit of $520 in this month, but our bank overdraft has actually increased by $8,000. So where's the money gone? And if we look at this, we see we actually haven't collected our debtors, we've paid off a bank loan, we've paid off some suppliers. So it's about having that information so you can understand a bit better what's happening in your finance.
Fantastic.
We've also got a range of KPI reports, which are mostly sort of standard accounting ratios, but you can do things like just look at your wages to turnover and see how that compares month by month as you're going through.
Right.
Now, depends how much detail you want me to go into here, Kieran. As I said, Calxa links directly to your MYOB file, and each month is just a matter of clicking on that update button, and it'll bring across the latest data, and then you can run your reports again. For those of you in the not-for-profit sector, as I said, you can do report budgets by job or category, and you can also add additional users and control what those users have access to.
I think it's also key to mention that Calxa connects to both the classic platforms, so the slightly older versions of MYOB, if you're an existing user on that, as well as our live platform. So a great opportunity to really leverage both ththose side of things. Isn't that right, Mick?
That's right. Yes. And one day in the near future, we hope to link into Essentials as well.
Love it. We love to hear that too. Great, great. So what else have you got? A few more minutes there for a demo. So what else have you got there that you want to show us through?
Okay. There's wizards to help you with things like creating next year's budget, or if you're taking out a new loan, it's just a simple matter of putting in the loan amount. So I can put in a loan, say for $10,000. Yep. Put the period in, interest rate. We'll do 20%. It will tell us the total amount, and also give us. And my report's gone on the other screen. It'll give us a monthly breakdown of what the report payments are going to be, and then add that into your budget automatically. So there's no need to manually calculate that, and then you can, again, in that scenario planning, you can see what the effect is of borrowing that money compared to paying it cash up front.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then back on the reporting side of things, there's a number of reports to compare actuals against budget in different ways. So if I just look at the budget summary report, for example, what this one gives us is actuals, budget, and variance for the month, same figures for the year to date, and then a comparison to last year as well. So you can see how well you're performing against those budgets you've set up. We highlight lines that have got big variances, so you can go and investigate those, and then you can also include your KPIs on that report as well for additional information. So a lot of flexibility in how you report there, but simple and easy to set up.
Great. Do you want to show us through some of that setup there, Mick?
Yep. When you first connect your MYOB file with Calxa Express, we actually have a quick start wizard that takes you through creating your first budget, and it's a simple process of saying, okay, I'm going to take last year's income and I'm going to increase that by 5%. My cost of sales I'm going to set as 45% of my income. Expenses we're going to manage very carefully and limit to 3%. It shows me what's happening with my profit there. And then I haven't got any GST accounts in this file. I've lost them, sorry. And so set that, my KiwiSaver and my inventory, and then that wizard will go through and create a budget for this year and next year and do my cash flow settings so that I can run my first cash flow forecast very quickly. And then it's just a matter of going in and editing and fine-tuning those budgets for things that are happening differently in this year.
And we should say that as Mick was going through there, all that information, like he was saying about the GST things, the GST accounts, is all being pulled out of the MYOB accounting platform.
That's right.
And as with sample ones, often we play around with them and remove pieces for them. So yes. That's probably more our fault than Mick's. But yeah, so that's pulling that data straight out of the accounting platform. That's the beauty of having things connected to each other. Hey Mick, that's been fantastic to see. And I know we've only got a handful of minutes, and there's a real, there's a huge depth to what Calxa really does, and there's so much more here. What I do want to ask you about is the pricing model for Calxa. We get a lot of questions from clients about how much it costs to run add-ons on their company or in their company. So how does the pricing model for Calxa work?
Yep, Calxa Express is $25 a month, and for a single user, Calxa Premier is $125 a month, and that's a 5-user license. Both of those include regular updates and any support you need.
So talking about support, because that's the other key area that people really ask us a lot about, what sort of support have you got for people when things just don't go as planned? And also for people coming up to speed, do you have online videos or resources and things for them to learn about the product?
Yep, we want to make sure that people who use our software actually do use it and it doesn't sit on the shelf. So we provide a lot of online learning tools. So there's videos on the website, there's support notes on the website. We do getting started webinars every month, and there's recordings of those on the website as well. We also have a free call 0800 number from New Zealand, and you can also email our customer support team. So if you're stuck at any time, just get on the phone, and we have real people who are happy to help you.
Excellent. And of course, you have a lot of the MYOB partner channel activated as Calxa people as well. So I know there's a huge footprint of people out there to support and help. Hey, Mick, that's been fantastic to have you come and join us this morning. Thank you for sharing your time. It's been great to talk through that part of things.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Alrighty, so we're going to change tack slightly now and move over to Simon from Shoeboxed. Shoeboxed, as I mentioned, is a product for managing expenses and things. So let me just go and bring Simon into the broadcast there. Morning, Simon. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you all?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Hey, listen, so I mentioned that Shoeboxed is a paper management or a receipt type system. How about in your terms, you unpack what Shoeboxed really is?
Absolutely. So Shoebox is about taking the pain of paper away from small business, in particular for receipts and invoices. So instead of having to type the details of your receipts and invoices into AccountWrite or paying someone else to do that piece for you, you send them to us and we'll take care of everything.
Fantastic. Excellent. Listen, when I think about businesses and expense management, especially the ability to capture receipts and that sort of stuff, it seems to be almost in the realm of big companies who can afford big platforms to do that. Is that true? Do you need to be a big company, or is Shoebox something that a sole operator could use?
You definitely don't have to be a big company. We have customers that range from individuals doing tax returns. We do have some larger businesses, like TV production companies as well. But our sweet spot is small businesses. And those are cafes, restaurants, tradies, people who are still dealing with a lot of paper, and it's not going to go away anytime soon.
So is the pain point the handling the paper, or is it the getting the data off it? What is it that businesses really struggle with around paper and expenses that Shoebox really solves?
Well, it's a bit of all of that. Until recently, the focus for the paperless office was a scanner. So instead of having someone type stuff in, you had someone sitting there scanning. And while we do support scanners, and we have customers who do that themselves, most of our customers simply post us in the documents, and we handle everything from there. And it also means that you have your IRD compliant storage. So you don't have to worry about finding those documents later on. You don't have to store that paper anywhere, and it's all linked in with AccountWrite. So when you need to view that image, if unfortunately you're audited, for example, it's just one click away.
Nice, nice. So we've talked about, or we've touched on a little bit here about, scanning or photographing or sending. What are the ways that I get a piece of paper to you?
Okay, so we support almost a dozen different methods. So we're actually built into HP and Fujitsu scanners.
Wow.
You can email it to us. If you have an Android or an iPhone or an iPad, we have apps that let you actually do almost everything from your phone or your tablet. Mm-hmm. We also integrate with Gmail, where it will automatically detect receipts, same way as something like TripIt does, and suck them in, so you don't have to do anything. And of course, post. It's still a lot of people, and that's what it looks like.
There we are, the magic envelope. I knew you were going to pull that out. We love seeing the magic envelope from Simon. I still expect a bunny to pop out, but it never does. Hey, Simon, how about you actually put it on screen and show us a little bit of what Shoebox can do?
Absolutely. So we're just going to push the right button here.
It's always funny watching people try and pull their demos up.
Here's one I created earlier. So what you're looking at now is a list of all the receipts that are in this demo account. And I'm going to show you one thing that isn't obvious to people when they first start using the system, which I think is really powerful, and it's the search capability. So you can search anything that's on that receipt. So, for example, we have a service station customer, and they get their barbecue gas bottles about once every 6 months. And they knew the brand of the barbecue gas, but couldn't remember the supplier's name. We're able to find that receipt simply by typing it in here. So I'm going to do a real-time test with favorite things, chocolate. And you wouldn't think that chocolate is going to find anything in business receipts, but we'll see if it, well, in the background you can scream at your computers to tell me what that is. It's a hot chocolate. So just to show you here that you can find stuff, so you'll see just there inside this receipt, which was taken on a phone, it's found the hot chocolate inside it.
Fantastic. And
so as I was saying with the service station, they were able to type in Supergas, find that invoice from 6 months prior, and then enable it. Had the phone number, had reorder details, and they even got a discount because they reordered within a certain period of time. So what this means is you don't have to extract as much data because you can find things when you need them. So that could be as simple as by a widget name or a part name or anything that's inside that receipt or invoice details.
Yeah, fantastic. So you're on the road, you've taken a photo of the receipt, you've put it into the system, effectively forgotten about it for 3 weeks or 3 months or whatever, and then going, oh, I'm sure I bought a cup of coffee or I bought something, and you've got something unique to be able to search by and go back and find it.
And you can do this from the mobile apps as well. And for example, if you're at a hotel and you're visiting them a second time and you think they're charging you a bit more than they did last time, pull up your old receipt. Show them you got free internet last time around.
Oh, very nice.
So the other thing I wanted to show you here is one of the things that people do in setup, which is, sorry, I'm in the wrong place, which is setting up rules. So what you can do here, it's a little bit similar to the bank reconciliation process. So you can come in and say, so if I have American Airlines, I always want to put that into my MYOB category, travel and accommodation expenses.
Great.
And I can even do that historically. So what that means is, let's say you're dealing with a backlog. So we'll get people approach us who haven't filed taxes for a few years. So they're behind and they need to get up to date. So we might literally have thousands of documents put in. You can very quickly go through and assign all your categories there, and then you're set up for the following year as well, because that's going to automatically apply. You literally send them to us, the code is applied, they're straight in your account right.
Fantastic. Saves you a lot of time for repetitive side of things.
Absolutely, and the idea is that you're actually not going to log into Shoebox very often. That what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be seeing them automatically inside AccountWrite. I should mention that's AccountWrite Live, obviously. We do support AccountWrite Classic as well, but you do have to take a file and import it into the older versions of AccountWrite.
True.
If you are using Account... Sorry, go ahead.
I believe you also support the new Essentials platform.
We do indeed. So if you're using Essentials or you're using Live and you have bank feeds, what's going to happen is, if you've sent the documents straight to us on your phone or you've forwarded an email in, it's going to appear inside AccountWrite or Essentials at about the same time your bank line does, your statement line does. So you're doing a reconciliation in real time with the original source document.
Fantastic. Love that. All right,
Yeah,
Simon,
it really
we're
is that simple.
Perfect, excellent. So setup's really easy. You come in here, you set your rules up, and then you basically set and forget, really, isn't it? It's you put it in and just let it do its work.
Precisely.
How do you handle some of that? I know you've got a bureau there as well, so I was going to ask, how do you handle some of those where you can't quite read it? Do you have somebody manually putting some data across, sense checking it, that sort of thing?
So if any of you have ever tried, say, business card scanners or some of the apps that are out there, you'll notice that if it's a fully computerized process, the accuracy isn't terrific. It's about 85%. We solved that problem with some very smart technology called People. So yeah, we employ long-term unemployed in our office here in Sydney, and they validate the information that the computers have extracted and make sure it's correct. Because for your financial statements, you need that amount, and your GST amount, and the IRD requires it to be correct.
Agreed. Yeah, it does. So it's fantastic you've got that layer of checking over top of the system.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, we talked to Mick a little bit earlier, and I'm going to ask you the same question. We know that businesses today are very cash flow aware, and so layering extra services on is something they always think about. What's the price? So do you want to talk through the pricing for Shoeboxed?
Absolutely, and this is straight off our website plans page. So we do start with a free offering. Has that showed up on the screen there?
Yes, it has. Yep, it has. Right. DIY for free.
So the free offering is for 5 documents a month. So this will generally be for your personal taxes. You may find that our free offering is fine. The next one up costs $17. I should say these are Australian dollars. That gives you 50 documents a month, and we find for most small businesses, sole traders, that's enough for them. And so you're using a mobile phone, you're taking a picture of your cab receipt or your cafe receipt, or maybe you're sending in emails from a bit of travel, and that has you covered, and that goes all the way up to, you can see there, $250 a month, and that's for very high volume and probably larger customers.
Yeah, that would make sense. Now listen, the other question, of course, people want to know is getting up to speed, and we know we make these things as easy as possible, but there's always a little bit of a learning curve. So what have you got around support for people coming on board, or when things just don't go as planned?
Absolutely. So if you notice in the top right here, we also have a New Zealand free call number. We have our support team here in Sydney are able to answer emails, answer your phone calls, and we'll run you through everything all the way through from submitting your documents to getting them working inside AccountRight. Our support team are trained on AccountRight as well, so they can talk the same language you're talking.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning, Simon. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. There's 2 extra or fantastic add-ons that can bring a little bit of extra something to your business, help you save time, help you save that double data entry or get rid of that double data entry, and help you understand where your business is going and, more importantly, what you spent your money on. We've really enjoyed bringing these videos to you. This is, as I mentioned, is the last one in the series. What we will be doing after this is sending an email out to you with a little bit more information about these 2 and a bit of a special offer for them as well. If you want to do that before, there are links below this video to get through to their websites. Do make sure that you tell Mick and Simon and their teams that you did see their video today, and they'll look after you with some special offers there as well. We do plan on running this series again in the future, so those of you who have a MYOB NZ account manager, let them know you saw the video, let them know any of the thoughts that you might have about how to improve it or do other things in the future, and we're going to do more of these things. For those of you who are joining us for Partner Connect, that roadshow activity that we'll be doing, both of these guys will be there as well, along with a lot of our other add-ons. You can go to myob.co.nz/add-ons and check out over 120 other add-ons that we've got listed on the site. Thanks very much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time we kick off another series here in NZ. Cheers.